I'm back, I'm biased, I'm bothered, and I am always unfiltered. If you are easily offended, this is not the place for you. You still haven't managed to worthy up. Not to worry, let's get into this mess. Special Forces Season 4 Episode 8. An absolutely brilliant episode. I know I say that every week, by the way, but it really was good. Anyway, this is day 8. There's 6 remaining recruits. Now, there's only 48 hours left. I'm raging. But anyway, we see Cody being called by the Foxy Billies. So he's being asked, how is everybody getting on? Now, Cody says they're sore, but they are happy. And then he just does a little skip and a hop and a jump, but back to tell the others. Now, the others don't care, right? They're just wondering when they can have their breakfast. I will say, I was looking at Brianna. This girl looks wrecked because, like, they have had no recovery, you know. They're just going, like, day after day. Their body is not getting a chance to recover. I was looking at what Sean is eating. It looks like a jam and cream donut. I haven't had one of them in ages. It looked gorgeous. Anyway, these are all talking. Now, everyone is missing home and missing their kids, but we don't hear from Cody. And then I thought, why the hell is he sitting on his own? But not only that, he's sitting with his back to everybody. Why? I didn't understand that. Anyway, we're in the DS dorm. I tell you, it's very messy, right? They didn't even make their beds. Anyway, we find out that this is the final phase, and these are all making their predictions. Now, they reckon that this is now going to be the worst phase. I know, they say that every time, because this is going to be a mental phase. Now, they think that Cody will be there at the end, but they say, like, would you want him to be there with you? And they're like, only if he's going to be a lead scout in a minefield. I thought, oh my God, what a shocking, well, honest thing to say. Anyway, they are impressed with his ability to basically absorb shit, because, you know, everybody hates this guy. Now, they say that Andrew was good, but they think he would be better, like, on his own without his wife. They are very surprised that Brianna is still there. I thought, well, you know what she is. So we're now getting called out for our mission. Now, Foxy Billies tell us that they're trying to exhaust and empty the tanks of everybody there. So there's loads of screaming that we have to get to the vehicles. And Brianna and Gia again are in the car with stinking Cody. I thought, these poor women. So we have to go up to the mountains, right? We're going to trek to test our endurance. This is called a sickener, by the way. And then I found out it's 100 degrees. Oh my God. But you know, when they're running up the mountain, I did notice that Cody is actually holding up Gia's bag. I thought, why is he doing that? Like, obviously to help her, but did she ask? Like, I wouldn't mind, you know, carry my bag, I don't care. Anyway, loads of screaming from the Foxy Billies, right? We're only 2 minutes in, and already Brianna says she's gonna pass out, right? She's absolutely and utterly bollocksed. So now they have to carry 2 tires that are gonna weigh 30 pounds, and they have to get these up the mountains. The Foxy Billies, they really are trying to weed out the weaklings. Now, Brianna is really struggling, and Q was telling her that's basically too bad, but she's so pissed, right? She's shouting at the cameraman just to get the fuck out of her face. But after that, we now have to get back down the mountain. Now, I was delighted because Gia is hyping Brianna up, but then we're going to have a race, right? But with the bags on our back. Now, Randall and Cody win this race. You thinking, oh, great, it's done. No, it's not finished yet. Because they had to carry this coil of rope. Now, this looks like a marine rope. You know, what you'd put on an anchor, like on your boat. That's what it looks like to me anyway. I don't know anything about the military, by the way, but if it's marine rope, it's incredibly heavy. Anyway, we're kind of getting a bit of a confessional, right? So Andrew and Sean, they got together after their sporting career, so they had never been with each other like during their competition days, and Andrew really wants to show his wife that he's brilliant, and he does, because back into this race, right, Andrew is now overtaking Cody and Randall. So we see the girls, right? Now, Sean physically cannot pick up this rope. She's tiny, right? I didn't realise how small she was, but she's tiny. So she's trying to pick up the rope. She's fallen back with the weight of it. So now it's going to be Sean, Gia and Brianna, right? They're going to carry this rope between them. But I want you all to bear in mind, I know that at least Sean and Brianna, they only had a bit of notice. Like, I think it was only a few days prior. Cody has been training for this for months. Do you remember I posted him in the gym and he was saying, and on Cameo, he said that he's training for something? That's months and months ago. So he knew exactly what he was going to do. He was able to prepare. Now, the others didn't, right? So I'm not saying anything bad about the girls. They didn't have the opportunity. But I did see a cameraman. I love when I get to see things like that. Anyway, we really do have to try and destroy these people. Oh, these Foxy Billies, like they probably all have families, they want to get home. So now we're going to put chains around these people's neck. Now the chains weigh 90 pounds. It's 100 degrees. Too bad, right? Because they have to hike up the mountain. Sean can barely stand up, right? I don't know how this woman is still going. Anyway, there's loads of screaming, and Cody is now telling Randall how to breathe and how to walk. I thought Randall is grand. The chap is grand. Anyway, the guys are finished, right? And then Gia and Sean come in. But Brianna is still struggling, and there's 150 yards to go. She's wrecked, right? She just can't do it. And she's saying that she cannot breathe, and she's panicking. Also, it is 100 degrees there in Africa, right? Foxy Billy doesn't care. He just throws a bottle of water over her head. Oh, so there's loads of screaming, okay? From the Foxy Billy saying, well, just give in your armband. And she's saying, no, I want to continue. Now, fair play to her, she does actually make it. More screaming, though, okay? Loads of screaming. So the Foxy Billies are saying it is day 8, a day to embrace the pain. I can't. I can't do any of that. But I did notice Cody's beer belly here. Tell, where's the six pack gone? Anyway, they're finished the mission and they're on their way home. So Randall and Andy, like they're bigging Brianna up and they're saying she's great, like she did great. But Cody doesn't. Cody is there and he just pulls his cap over his eyes. I thought, of course he doesn't tell her she's brilliant. She's a woman. She hasn't got the man brain. She's not a man. She's not the macho, masculine Andrew Tate. So of course he hates her. Anyway, in the DS storm, right, the recruits, they're saying that the recruits, like, they still haven't done enough to earn their place. I don't know what they want from these people, but they do say that Gia is the best female recruit. And I thought, well done. Like, I was so surprised by that, but I think she's brilliant. I want her to win. We also find out that Randall is doing good, but they're not sure if he wants it. They thought he doesn't. He wants to go home to his wife and kids. So now we are going to push our emotional buttons. And Andrew is up, right? So he's going to be pushed to a heightened emotional state before sending him out on his next mission. So bear in mind, right, these people have had no contact with their families. So Andrew gets a message from home. So he sees his kids giving him a message. Now the Foxy Billies are watching as they're like getting the message because they want to see their expressions and their emotions. Now Sean hears from her parents and her kids, right? She does get emotional, she does, but then as soon as the hood is put back over her head, it's just like bang, back to work. Now the Foxy Billies reckon that because they are so close as a couple, that it may work against them in their interrogation. Ooh, we'll have to see what happens there. Anyway, Gia gets a message from her mother. Now, eventually she clicks onto it and she does get a bit emotional. Now, the mother, that's Teresa, right? She says, be the woman I raised you to be. I thought, Teresa, you dumped her heart. You went home and you left her there. But Brianna gets a message from her cousin and her auntie. I thought, why? Like, where's her parents, her sisters, her partner? Where are all these people? If that's me, right, I don't want to hear from an auntie and a cousin. No, I want my family there. And I tell you, they better be there telling me how brilliant I am. Anyway, she gets emotional too. Ooh, and then we get Cody. Now, Cody has had 4 wives, 15 kids, right? 2 losers and dating. So altogether, collectively, a very big family. Who does he get to talk to him? Robin. Now, Robin says to him, hi, handsome. I'm sure you're charming everybody and making friends. I thought, no, he's not. And then she says, and impressing everyone with what you can pull off. I thought, well, pull off definitely means something very different in the United States. Oh, Anyway, she thinks that he impressing people but with his pulling off, right? And what he can do. And she's the kids and I are praying for you. I thought, all right then they're praying, but they can't get on the Zoom, like just to message him. Anyway, she says that she's sending him light and love. I thought send the man some deodorant. That's what he really needs. Now he's getting emotional, and the Foxy Biddies are wondering, is this real? Like, is it real? Now, some of them think it is, but I'm looking at Q. Q knows this guy. Q is not falling for him. Anyway, Randall gets a message from his wife and kids. Now, also, Randall's house was in a fire, right? Last year. And his three kids, they're very small, right? Now, the Foxy Billies reckon that he wants to go home. I reckon he does too. Anyway, we're on to our next mission, and we're going to be in two different teams. So it's Team Alpha with Andrew, Gia, and Randall, and it's Team Bravo with Cody, Brianna, and Sean. Now they're talking about navigation, right, with the Foxy Billies, and they're being asked, "Can you navigate? Can you use this compass?" And Cody says that he has used a compass, but he doesn't actually know how it works, right? He can't navigate. I thought, well, the answer to the question is no, Cody. It's not that difficult. Anyway, we are going to try and replicate a real war situation. So we're going into a hostile environment that is under attack, and we have to remain unseen because these people are going to try and fuck us up. Now, the Foxy Billies apparently know this because in real life they have been captured. So everybody is freaking out. The base is just under attack, and then we all have to flee. And there's chaos and explosions. And I thought, oh, Cody gets into the car first. That's not very masculine, Cody. Not very manly to not let one of the women go in first. Anyway, the mission is to find a safe house, okay? Because we don't want the enemy to capture us. Again, we are told that this is the worst ever, okay? They say that every week about everything. So the two teams are dropped outside of the villages, but on opposite sides of a valley. And they have to navigate 3 miles and find a rendezvous point to get instructions on how they can get to the safe house location. Oh, that's a lot to take in. So anyway, we arrive at this place. Now the Foxy Biddies like loads of screaming, okay? And they're telling them that they have to move fast because the place apparently has been overrun. So they have to go into the village, right? They have to look for the shop and they have to ask for Hamza. I thought, all right then. I'm assuming he's part of our team. So Q was telling Team Bravo that they have to find a shop and the owner is going to give them a package. So they're not getting a Hamza, all right? Apparently there wasn't two to go around. So Brianna and Sean, they're already telling Cody, don't go on the road, you dumb fuck. The last bit was implied, by the way. Now, they don't know which way to go, right? Should they go right? Should they go left? I don't, well, don't ask Cody. He's no feckin' idea. Anyway, we do get a bit of a voiceover. Now, Brianna says she's a good leader and she can work with people that she doesn't like. I thought, good, because I know she feckin' hates Cody. But she does say that she can't hide her emotions. I thought, same girl. Same here. Anyway, Cody wants to split up, right? And Brianna and John are saying no. But then they just start stopping people and asking for directions and asking for help. I thought, you're in Africa. You're on a mission. You're supposed to go unnoticed. Now, the Foxy Billies are watching all of this and they're not happy. But I thought, in fairness, Foxy Billies, they are being like followed by a camera crew, so everybody knows who they are. Anyway, we're getting a voiceover from Cody. Now, Cody says that what people think about him is not important enough for him to change. I thought we know that. We know that very well, Cody. Anyway, Cody keeps calling Brianna. He keeps saying ladies, right? I thought, stop saying that. I don't know why it bothered me so much. Just call them by their names, right? Or like just call them because they're part of the team, you know? They're all supposed to be on the same team together. Anyway, he keeps moving away and they're saying like we have to stay together because like he doesn't know where they are. I thought, but nobody knows where they are, Cody. You're in Africa, you all have to stay together. And Brianna is saying to him, like, it's gonna be fine. It's just she just wants this guy, like, you know, to just shut up and stay easy for 5 minutes. Anyway, we're back with Team Malta. Loads of screaming, of course, you know. Anyway, we're searching for the shop. Now, Andrew is leading, and we do actually get to the shop and we find Hamza. This is a chap from the Amateur Dramatic Society. Now, Andrew gets the phone and the directions, and this is the directions, right? They to look for a fire and a lady, and she's going to help them. I thought, oh, somebody else from the Amateur Dramatic Society. So they have to evade hunters for 1.6 miles. Oh, now we get back with the three Stooges. These are lost, right? But Brianna and Sean see a shop, and Cody says, oh, there's a shop. And the two of them are like, yeah, we just said that to you. Anyway, they have to go and they have to get a package. And Cody keeps saying, let's go back. And Brianna is saying, no, we're not going back. We have to stand here. This is the most important thing. We have to read the fucking directions, you know. Anyway, they have to get to a mosque, which is 1.5 miles away. Now, they're trying to figure out how, and Cody is pretending that he knows Sean is getting so pissed off at this guy, and they're having a bit of a disagreement about what they can't tell whether it's a ditch or a riverbed. Ugh, I do actually have to agree with Cody. I hate to say it, but it is actually a ditch. Anyway, we're getting a voice over. Now, Cody lets us know that he speaks up when he thinks he's right. I thought that's the problem, Cody. You always think you're right about everything. Anyway, so now we're in the dark in Africa on a mission with the enemy closing in, and Cody just decides to stop and have a very, very loud piss. I thought, oh, never in my life I thought I would have seen that. Anyway, back with Team Alpha, right? These are lost. They can't find the smoke, but they don't realise that they are only 50 yards from the second rendezvous. But Andrew, he wants to turn back because he's lost. He hasn't got a clue, right? But Randall is saying that he doesn't want to go back. Now, we hear from the Foxy Billies, right? It's actually Rudy, and he says we must never ever retrace our steps when we are on the run because that's just going to put us in more danger. So anyway, there's loads of lights and dogs barking. Now Randall is freaking out, but the hunters, thank God, didn't get us this time. Andrew still wants to go back though, okay? Anyway, over on Team Bravo, still, okay, they still cannot find the second rendezvous point. So it's going to be a mosque in the center of the village. But Cody wants to check something out. And Brianna is saying, no, there's not going to be a mosque in the middle of the woods, you absolute another gobshite. So Brianna was right. And then she sees the mosque. And Cody says, we just stumbled into it. I tell no, you didn't. Brianna found her. Just back and seen her. Anyway, back with Team Alpha. They've after taking a 3 mile detour, okay? Anyway, they do see a small fire. So another Amateur Dramatic Society person gives them directions. So anyway, we're on our way to the safe house, but we must remain vigilant. So this is going to be a race, okay, to get to the safe house, but it's over a mile away. And then we get into an exposed area. Now Randall gets really worried because he sees that there's lights following them, and Andrew was telling us to get ready to run like a banshee. I don't know what the hell does that mean. I don't know. Maybe it's an American expression. I've never heard it before. Anyway, just loads of chaos, loads of explosions, okay, and dogs barking. Randall is freaked out by the dogs. Oh, and now we're after getting caught, so we're getting the hoods put over our head. Now, the Foxy Billy has been in real life captured. And he says it's the scariest thing ever. I would imagine so. Also, oh, I wouldn't be good. I wouldn't. I'm giving up all the secrets. I just, oh, I couldn't be arsed. Anyway, there's loads of dogs barking, right? Randall is out. He's tapping out, okay? He's saying, I VW, I VW. So they take the hood off him, and now they're going to take the zip ties off him. I thought, hang on a second. It's only an elastic band. That doesn't seem like replicating real war to me, Foxy Billies. But anyway, they're absolutely raging, okay, that Randall is after like VW. And Randall is not, okay? He's not raging because the chap was panicking. But we do find out that there's 12 hours left now in the whole thing, and there's only 5 recruits left. Oh, I toss on, Randall. You are great. I will miss you. Anyway, back with Team Bravo, okay? We see someone and we're just following them. Now, they think it's a safe house, but they're not sure. Too late though, because there's bombs going off and just fellas just flying in. We have been captured and we are now in the hands of the hunters. Oh, goodness. And then we find out, right, that another hardest phase is next because that is going to be the interrogation. And then I see one Mr. Cody Brown being shouted at by a girl, and I thought, hell yeah, baby, bring it on. Oh, God, I love this show. It's getting better and better. Anyway, that is our recap. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, go ahead and hit subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great day, and remember, I love you long time.